Good morning everyone. I welcome you on behalf of Mind IAS. Today we are going to start with NCERT book of class 10th for all UPSC and BPSC aspirant, in which we are going to cover different topics of science. So today we begin with the biology topic, and the first topic in the biology in class NCERT book is your life processes. So, the name of this chapter is life processes. Before we start with life processes, life means something which is being alive. Okay, but how can we detect in the nature that something is alive? Suppose a dog is running just beside you. So, what do you find in dog so that you can say that the dog is alive? Definitely, the dog is moving from one place to another place. Dog is locomoting from one place to another place. If you see a plant, how can you tell that this plant is alive? So, plant is also show some sign of movement. When the leaves in a plant is green in color and when the leaves are moving, you can say that this plant is a living being. So, we can say that growth is the sign of, or movement is the sign of living. So, if anything which shows any kind of movement, maybe sometime we observe that movement, sometime we are not able to observe that movement, but movement is the sign of living. And if we talk about any living system, the most important thing in living system is, you have studied in class 9th NCERT also, that we human beings, if we talk about specifically of human beings, we are made up of cells. Then cells unite and form tissues. Tissues unite and form organ, and organ unite and form organ system, and then the entire organism. So we are basically made up of cell, tissue, organ and organ system. But these things, one made, cannot be last for your entire life. So all living system need to maintain their body, or maintain the cell, tissue or organ system of the body. So for that maintenance, the things which all the living things are doing is called your life processes. So life processes, if you have to define, how you will define that? Anything which requires to maintain the life of living being is called life processes. If you see this topic, it consists of 4 important things. The first is nutrition. Second is respiration. Third is circulation. Fourth one is excretion. So, the thing which is required to maintain the life is your life processes, and life processes include these 4 things, that is nutrition, respiration, circulation and excretion. So, in this chapter, one by one we deal with nutrition, respiration, circulation and excretion. So, we begin with the first topic, that is nutrition. As you all know, if we talk about any living thing, the most important thing which is required by all living thing is what? Is your food. The most important thing is food. And why we require food? We require food to get energy. So all the living beings, they require food to perform their day-to-day life functions. And why they require food? They require food to get their energy. Now the question comes that from where we get the food. So the place where we get the food is your plants. In lower classes also you have studied that plants are the you can say organism on the earth which can prepare their own food by using sunlight energy. So if we discuss about modes of nutrition, so there are 2 modes of nutrition. The first is your autotrophic and the next one is your heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So autotrophic, in which organism prepare their own food by using simple inorganic substances. This point is very important, that they prepare their own food by using simple inorganic substances. By using simple inorganic substances. If we talk about plant, in case of plant, that inorganic substance is what? That is your sunlight. So sunlight is the source of energy for the preparation of food on this earth. And if say suppose, if sunlight is there and say suppose 100% of sunlight is coming from the sun. So how much percentage of sunlight is used by the plants? So answer of this question is only 1%. Now can you imagine that only 1% of sunlight can fulfill the need of so many living organisms, those who exist on this earth. So only 1% of sunlight is used by the plants to prepare their food. So this type of nutrition is called autotrophic nutrition. And autotrophic nutrition is done by plants as well as blue-green algae, because blue-green algae also contain a green pigment which is called chlorophyll, which is important for the process of photosynthesis. So blue-green algae also shows the autotrophic mode of nutrition. Now we come to the next mode of nutrition, that is heterotrophic mode of nutrition. When we obtain our food, when we obtained our food from other organisms, is called heterotrophic mode of nutrition. It's called heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So when we obtain our food from other organism, it is called heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So in this chapter nutrition, we deal with both the aspect of nutrition, that is autotrophic and heterotrophic. So first begin with plants. Why plants? Because they are autotrophic and they are, you can say, the ultimate organism on the earth which can provide food to the entire world. Okay. In lower classes, you have studied that plant perform the process of photosynthesis. So if you ask a child of class say 5, 6 or 7 that define photosynthesis, so they will define that plant can prepare their own food with the help of sunlight, water and carbon dioxide in presence of chlorophyll is called photosynthesis. Absolutely fine and absolutely right definition. But there is a, when you are studying in class 7 and when you come to class 10, there is a difference. There are some very minute points which you keep it in your mind, and that make the difference between class 6 and class 10. So photosynthesis, if you see the entire process, it will consist of 3 steps. 3 steps. So what are those 3 steps? The first one is absorption of sunlight by the chlorophyll. So this chlorophyll is a green pigment which is present in the plant, And if the question will come that in which cell organelle chlorophyll is present, so chlorophyll is present in chloroplast inside the cell. And this is the green pigment which can absorb the sunlight. Sometime questions may come in the exam that which part of light is used by plant for preparation of their food. So in that case, sometime we can say heat, solar energy, or radiant energy. So heat, the thing which is absorbed by the chlorophyll from sunlight is what? Is in the form of heat. It may be in the form of solar radiation, or you can also say it as radiant energy. Now, the second step is conversion of solar energy into the chemical energy. And after this conversion, what will happen? The water molecule break down and release hydrogen and oxygen. So the first thing is absorption of sunlight by the chlorophyll. Then second step is conversion of solar energy into chemical energy of food. And in this conversion, what will happen? This water molecule break down and release hydrogen and oxygen. So sometime it may come in the question that from where in photosynthetic reaction this hydrogen and oxygen is producing. So the source of production of this hydrogen and oxygen is your water molecule. The third step is reduction of carbon dioxide into carbohydrates, and that is in the form of glucose, C6H12O6. So the entire photosynthesis process summarized in this three steps: absorption of sunlight by chlorophyll, conversion of solar energy into chemical energy, and breakdown of water molecule into hydrogen and oxygen, reduction of carbon dioxide into carbohydrate. Now this is in the theory form. If somebody asks that what is the chemical reaction or chemical equation for the process of photosynthesis? So 6 CO2 plus 12 H2O, sunlight and chlorophyll. These are the two most important things for photosynthesis. Then what will form? C6H12O6 plus 6 molecules of water plus 6 molecules of oxygen. So the entire photosynthesis reaction summarized in a simple equation. This equation where it's showing that 6 carbon molecules combined with 12 water molecules will produce molecule of glucose, 6 water molecules and 6 oxygen molecules. So this is all about the photosynthesis which is given in your NCERT. Now I think all of you have seen no human being can exactly similar with each other. Similarly, plants are also not very similar with each other. You can see around yourself there are many different varieties of plants are there. If you specifically talk about the plants that grow in your desert or in dry condition, those plants are called what? Those plants are called xerophytes. Those plants are called xerophytes. So in junior classes, you have studied that they reduce their leaves into spines. Their roots are very deep inside the ground to absorb the water and all. So these are the modification which is done by all the desert plant. But what about the photosynthesis? How the desert plant perform the process of photosynthesis? It is similar to the normal plant or it is somewhat different? So the answer is it is somewhat different from the normal plant, because in desert condition, if you see, during the daytime temperature is very high. Normally the temperature is 40-45 degrees Celsius, and in that temperature, if stomata will open, then what will happen? Loss of water through transpiration, and they are not in position to sustain that loss during the daytime. But during the daytime only they have performed the process of photosynthesis, because only the daytime sunlight is present, night no sunlight is present. So how they perform photosynthesis? It's a big question. So the answer of this question is that xerophytic plants, what they will do during the daytime, they will not open their stomata, or you can say the stomata is closed during the daytime. So what they will do? They will open stomata during night. They will open stomata during night. And why they open stomata? What is the function of stomata? The function of stomata, in junior classes I think you have studied that the function of stomata is transpiration, that is loss of water in the form of water vapor, and second important function is exchange of gases. And what is the gas which is important in the process of photosynthesis? Your CO2. So during the daytime they are not going to open their stomata to take carbon dioxide, because during the daytime if they open their stomata to take carbon dioxide, with this process transpiration, the entire water lose out from the plant. So what they will do? What solution they find for this? What they will do? They open their stomata during the night time, and they form an intermediate compound called malic acid. And this acid they use during the daytime for the process of photosynthesis, because during the daytime the sunlight is available, water is available inside the plant, chlorophyll is there to absorb the sunlight. The thing for which they have to open the stomata is carbon dioxide, but they are not going to open the stomata during the daytime. What they are doing? They are opening at night. They are forming an intermediate called malic acid, and this malic acid during the daytime they can utilize for the process of photosynthesis. So this is a difference between the plants which grow in dry desert condition, that is xerophytes, and in normal condition during the daytime only stomata is open for the exchange of gases, and they also perform the process of photosynthesis. So this is all about the photosynthesis which is given in your NCERT book. Now how we can prove that glucose is forming in the process of photosynthesis, or sunlight is necessary for the process of photosynthesis, or carbon dioxide is necessary for the process of photosynthesis. So there are many activities given in your NCERT book through which we can identify that carbon dioxide, sunlight and water is necessary for the process of photosynthesis, and what is making as an ultimate result glucose is forming. So how we can identify that after the completion of process of photosynthesis the glucose is formed. So there is an activity given in NCERT in which basically they have used a solution called iodine solution. They have used a solution called iodine solution. So generally in biology we use iodine solution for test of carbohydrates. And what happen in iodine solution? If you mix a dilute solution of iodine solution with any of the carbohydrate, the color changes to blue-black. So change in color blue-black, it shows the presence of starch in any of the substances. So, a activity given in NCERT book in which what they have done, they have taken a variegated leaf. You understand the meaning of variegated leaf? Variegated means a leaf having a different colors. Like if you have seen, I think all of you have seen money plant. Money plant have a green leaf but having a yellow patches. So those yellow patches are just because of the presence of some other pigments like carotene, xanthophyll also. And green portion is also there in money plant. So they have taken variegated leaf. They take the potted plant and keep the plant inside a dark room for say 3 days, so that all the starch which is present in the plant is used up. After that, they have taken out the pot and keep the pot in the sunlight for 3 hours. So what they have taken? They have taken potted plant and put this plant for 3 days. 3 days in dark room. Dark room. After, in the next step, what they have done? Then put the plant in sunlight for 3 to 6 hours. 3 to 6 hours. After that, what we will do? We plucked 2 leaves from that plant. So we take that two different leaves from the plant and we just draw the green area of the leaf on a piece of paper. You can take a piece of paper or a page of your notebook and you can put the leaf and you can mark the green areas, which is, suppose this is green, this is green, this is yellow one, this is green and this is green. So you marked all the green areas on the paper. After that, they have put this leaf into boiling water. After boiling, they have put the leaf in alcohol. But what you have to keep it in mind, that we put the leaf directly into alcohol, but we will not heat the alcohol directly on the flame because it is highly inflammable. So we put the alcohol, suppose you have taken a beaker in which alcohol is there. In this alcohol you put the leaf which you plucked and then you put the beaker into a water bath, or you can say a container which you have put on stove for heating. Okay, so we are not going to put directly the alcohol on the flame, rather we can use a water bath for this alcohol. After boiling for some time, we just take out the leaf from the alcohol and we put the leaf into iodine solution. We put the leaf into iodine solution. What is the observation? The moment you put this leaf into the iodine solution, what will happen? All the green areas which you marked in the notebook, those will change into blue-black color. Hence, change in color in green areas from normal to blue-black indicates that all the green parts in the variegated leaf, they only perform photosynthesis and they form glucose, because the yellow part in money plant, it will not change into blue-black color because there the chlorophyll is absent and they are not taking part in preparation of food. Rather, green area which contain chlorophyll, they go for the process of photosynthesis, they produce carbohydrate, and conversion of this blue-black color indicates the presence of starch in leaf. So this is a small activity given in the NCERT. Sometime question may ask from these activities and these boxes also, because these are the practical aspect of the biology and more related to your day-to-day life. So with the help of this activity, we can easily detect the presence of starch in leaf. So just now we have discussed about photosynthesis, that how plants can perform photosynthesis. In the entire process of photosynthesis, what are the different steps involved and what are the necessary things for photosynthesis. And as you all know that photosynthesis done by the presence of pigment which is present in leaf, and the name of the pigment is chlorophyll. Okay, so we have to know something about leaf also. Okay, so in leaf where this chlorophyll is present, or what is the structure of leaf. So if you see the structure of leaf, suppose this is, I have drawn this diagram of leaf. Okay, so this portion of leaf is attached with the branch of a tree or a plant. So this portion is called petiole. This portion is called petiole. Now if you observe the leaf very carefully, at the center there is a very deep line, or you can say cleavage, which can divide the leaf into two equal parts. So this line of leaf is called midrib. This line is called midrib. The entire surface area of leaf where this midrib and other structures are present is called leaf blade, or you can also call it as lamina. So the entire surface area of leaf is called leaf blade or lamina. Now with this midrib region, if you see, these kinds of branches are coming out. So these structures are called veins. These structures are called veins. And if you see very closely leaves, from these veins some more structures are also coming out, and they are forming a network like structure on leaf. So this is called your veinlets. This is called your veinlets. So this is the structure of leaf. This is the structure of leaf. The portion which is attached to the plant is petiole. The entire surface area of leaf is called leaf blade or lamella. The center line which is clearly visible in leaf, which divide the leaf in exactly two equal parts, is your midrib. These branched lines are called veins, and again the dense branching is called veinlets. So this is something which we can see from our naked eyes. All these structure in the leaf is observed by our naked eyes. But again, the important structure, that is called stomata, which is present in the plant, which is responsible for transpiration and exchange of gases. Stomata we cannot see from our naked eyes. If you see the structure of stomata, it is somewhat like this. Here you can see these circular structures. These are chlorophyll. These are chlorophyll. This opening is called stomatal pore. So according to the need of the plant, if you see the shape of the cell, you can say these are bean shaped or kidney bean shaped cells are there. And if you see the stomatal pore is not always open all the time. It depends upon the outer environment and internal requirement of a plant. If outside the temperature is very high, then obviously the stomatal pore is closed to prevent the loss of water. If outside the day is rainy and it's already lots of water, then there is no need of close of this stomata. So based on the requirement of plant, this stomatal pore open and close according to the plant. If you draw a cross section of a leaf, because cross section is something which you cannot see from your naked eyes, for that you have to prepare a slide, and with the help of microscope only you can see. So if you draw a cross section of a leaf, the uppermost layer of the leaf is called cuticle. Okay, somewhere it is written waxy cuticle also, and the function is protective in nature. Protective in nature. Basically to protect the leaf. And like we have discussed, that stomata is a very important structure, but if you see different types of plant, they have different kind of distribution of stomata on the surface of leaf. Say for example, if you take the example of a monocot plant, monocot plants, so they have almost equal distribution of stomata on the upper surface of the leaf and the lower surface of the leaf. But if you see dicot plants, so dicot plants have more number of stomata on their lower surface in comparison to their upper surface. So the outermost layer, which is protective in nature, is in leaf is your cuticle, followed by a second layer which is known as epidermis, which is known as epidermis. Now after this layer, you can see these kind of elongated cells after a regular interval. These are the cells which contain chlorophyll, and at the lower surface you can say that these structures are present on the lower epidermis. This layer is representing the lower epidermis. So here large number of stomata is present on the lower surface. So all these are structures representing your stomata. Okay, and in between these gap spaces are present. These are called, you can say, air spaces. Vacant air spaces are also present. So this is this diagram representing the cross section of a leaf. So in the previous diagram, what we have seen? In the previous diagram, we have seen the structure of leaf from a outer view, which we can see from our naked eyes. But in this picture, we have seen the cross section of a leaf. When we prepare a slide of a leaf and when we observe inside the microscope, these many layers and different types of cells we can see inside the leaf. So this is the cross section of the leaf, and inside the leaf stomata is present and chlorophyll is present. Chlorophyll is present in which organelle, which cell organelle? That is chloroplast. And in which specialized cell these chloroplasts are present inside the leaf? So that is your mesophyll cells of the leaves. Mesophyll cells of the leaves, your chlorophyll is present. So question may come from mesophyll cell also. In which cell organelle is present? You can write chloroplast, or they ask that which is the pigment which is responsible for the absorption of sunlight? That is your chlorophyll. Stomata is present, which is bean shaped, and the function is transpiration and exchange of gases. So with all these, we have done with the topic nutrition in autotrophs. In next class, we will going to discuss the heterotrophic mode of nutrition, in which we will discuss about nutrition in unicellular organisms, say example amoeba, and human digestive system. The process, what are the things present in human digestive system, and the entire process of digestion in the next session. Thank you everyone for today.